much of a glider, is it?
No, well, I like it. I still like it.
So I kept thinking about Saturday night, you know, me Sunday, I didn't turn that master off. So I come here Sunday morning and turned it off, and then I tried to make sure it was going to crank. It took a while. It finally charged up today, but it took quite a while. It's kind of low.
You want to turn the fuel off or you leave it on?
Leave it on.
Yeah, saw that. Well, thank you.
Come the first winter, this thing was, man, had all kinds of air rushing out. I didn't start closing air holes up.
Oh, really? Remind me.
Jack, he stopped and told me to turn out the TV lot, him and Jack going out and drown it.
Yeah. We had an old ball tail wheel on it, and that thing was shaking him to death. Well, I can tell you about the ball tail. I had one on that Citabria, and everybody did everything I could do to it. Never solved the thing from shimmying.
Ain't no fix to them.
They ain't no fix. I finally gave up. Well, Rick and I flew it down to Prince Lake, and they shimmied so bad at Prince Lake. Rick was fine. It wasn't his fault. But they did it with me just like they did everybody else, and it threw a spring. And we couldn't find it. We walked up and down there, we couldn't find the damn spring. So we decided, well, let's see. We'll just take care of the spring off, we fly back to Washington and hope for the best. It was really wild on these springs. Oh, man, that son was good. In fact, I opened the door, looked out the back there, and make sure it wasn't shaking that tail off. See, it was beating us to death in there. Of course, Rick landed as slow as he could and got the weight off of it, but sooner or later the tail's got to come down. When it came down, see, you just thought it was coming off there. So Bill already told me, he said, you can't fix them things anyway. He said, you just well do get a Scott.
Seemed odd that you'd think there'd be a fix for it.
Well, the old ones, they had a place you tighten the spring tension up on them on the side of them. Apparently you could fix
On
it.
the swivel part, it
Right, they did.
tension on that, so it wouldn't go this way so big.
Well, then, text Friday and say, well, I can fix that. Well, bullshit. I don't know, maybe, but he had welded on the old, that thing you put the spring tension on his. I don't know, he somehow welded it on there. Of course, you know, Tech, he's got a stop too, dude. And so I went down to Bill and he said, I didn't think how to fix that. I said, well, tell me how to fix it. Well, we just ordered a Scott tail. Which is what we did, you know, but it's, I mean, the best price you get at Flag Arrow is, what was it, $610
$610
or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you gotta buy the springs, so that's $120.
That ball and did somebody else build a tail wheel?
Lang, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
for a cheaper one, but
Well, it'd been better off with that little Scott, except the little Scott's not swivel, see, but the little I didn't want it.
they at least didn't shimmy so bad.
No, they didn't kick you there. So this chief gets what they had on it too, a ball. Yeah. So they ordered a Scott. They took that damn ball off. This ball on this one was almost new. See, the way I got the airplane, the guy they'd rebuilt the airplane, the engine, and put it together, and he flew about 10 hours or so, and knocked the gear out from under it because it got away from him. And so he decided he didn't want to do more no goddamn deal with airplanes. So Larry got a new gear, and then at the same time we ordered new struts because they had the old struts, you know, you had to take off and inspect them and so off.
Yeah.
So you can get new struts. I think there's $100 a strut. There's only 4 of them, so you just will get rid of the thing. See?
We had a good time today, Ray. I did anyway. Haven't been in an airplane in 2 years or more, I have to guess. It's been more than that. I didn't kill him.
No, he
Didn't quite scare him to death.
All right. In fact, I was kind of surprised because Rick was having a little trouble with it, and Clifford, he couldn't keep the damn thing lined up. Right. And Clifford, he's had a lot of fail times. Clifford, we made about 3 landings, each one got worse, and he said, I said, I'm getting out of this goddamn thing, getting worse every time. But later I knew what was wrong with Clifford, and maybe it may help you a little bit with another cushion on you. You couldn't see over the nose of it, you can't see over the nose of it all. So
Yeah, that did
you
help.
can't tell when it starts.
That did help. Yeah, yeah.
So in the airplane there is another pair of cushions. I forgot to stick one underneath. I forgot to stick one under Clifford too, see?
Yeah.
Later I thought, I couldn't get Clifford back in. I said, well, Clifford, I know what's wrong and I can fix it. We'll go flying. I ain't going back in that damn airplane.
Well, I hadn't flown a tail wheel
Well, you
since
want one easy flying, you should have flew that Cub I flew a couple days ago.
79. 79 is the last time I flew a tail wheel.
You should have flew that Cub I flew a couple days ago. It's the goddamn makes it so easy. It's like, and ain't nothing to this, see?
Yeah, Super Cubs are pretty good.
Well, this is a J3, old
The
J3,
old
and ain't
J3
nothing
Cub.
easier.
Real
than
easy,
that.
real easy.
We didn't have no problem at all.
That Champ was easy to fly too. That old Champ was a nice airplane.
Yeah, but remember most time we was flying on the old sod strip.
Sod
too.
strip, yeah. Even flying over there though, I loved landing crosswind in that Champ. That's kind of why I got the job flying that power line patrol with that Super Cub down there. It's because I could land in the crosswind and stuff. And they
The
said,
Super Cub's easier than that's the top of it by
Yes.
far.
yes, a little bit.
Yeah.
That, you come down the hill that time and through the 150, you have to come on down with them.
Yeah. But I'm not current at all
I
now.
think you took Shirley up with you.
Yeah.
Spins and stuff.
Yeah.
She still talks about that.
We had a lot of fun. We were going to do a loop today, but there's an AD out on the spar, and we thought, well,
I wasn't too keen on doing that thing. You had to get 140 mile an hour, and the loop's big, and I think it's awkward. And there's AD out on those spars. You have to inspect them at the next angle. You got to put all the inspection plates in.
of course, in theory, you're not supposed to pull a lot of G's when you do that.
Well, no, a couple.
Gotta pull something.
We didn't pull more than 1 G today.
Get up and around there.
Yeah, we probably got a little over that.
I doubt it.
I got a G meter there, but it's broke. It quit here a while back. It's got.
You didn't have any trouble holding the camera up. We didn't pull very many G's. I don't
But
do
you
that.
pull at least a couple of G's in a
Maybe,
loop.
maybe. Well, yeah, might. It might. It depends on how far you come out of the bottom.
Well, I didn't like the loop. I did one with it, and I didn't like it. Shit, I was in there by myself, see, and I'm thinking, well,
Yeah.
we're heavier now. We were full of fuel, and and we probably were grosser.
Yeah. I remember that
Then,
old.
then that sort of made me nervous about that damn spar boat, and they don't put them out for nothing, you know.
Some of these light airplanes, if you pull too tight at the beginning,
Yeah, they lose it. Use all that damn speed. You can't get over it, so you got to come on up. But if you do it too light, then you're gonna fall
Yeah.
out right up there. If you do it too heavy, you're gonna lose all your airspeed. So, but I did one with it. And it was a big loop. I have to say, it was a big loop, a lot bigger than the Cub or Champ did, because of the extra speed, I guess. And it did spin. I didn't like it with a shit either. It was way nose down and it's steep.
What, a 150?
Huh?
150 spin?
No, that's
Citabria.
the top.
Yeah.
It was a nasty spin. I didn't like it.
And that police
It was really nose down too. When it come out of it, then it started building up
I
speed.
didn't push the towers very much. I got a bad impression of them the first time I did fly. Bonnie was working up at Bloomington. He came down on one, and I went up with him in that for a while. And
I've heard one of the first ones that was loggy.
yeah, that's the way they seem like they're just the same airplane and should have been more snappy.
Right, right.
A Champ with less power, everything,
That's-
less snappy airplane.
That's right. That old Champ You remember when I first started flying that, the old engine needed overhaul so bad, we kind of rated the engine about 40 horse.
Oh, imagine that.
It would just barely get off the ground and go through it, but it would do a loop and it'd spin real well, you know. I'd tell you the airplane I liked to loop, and I know you didn't like me to do it, but that Colt looped real well. It really did. And it did great barrel rolls. Well, one time
we were damaging the instruments in it. One we used for instrument training.
Yeah.
Damaging them because.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about the airplane.
When they hit the stops, you know, those instruments. You know, there's something different about them now because I don't think this airplane, you don't seem to give a shit. So
well, that was before you could lock them, you know.
Well, they ain't no lock on these.
I know.
No,
they're different. They're not the same instrument.
They got them made different, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember doing the loop and spin, and the instruments still were reading right. And used to, they just fell down, and you hear it go blam, blam, hit the
Well,
stops.
I had to fly that one for about 5 minutes before they straightened back up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I enjoyed it. I really did. I'm looking forward. If you don't really have any objections, I really would like to stay again and go tomorrow.
You don't know.
Well, we don't have to,
Oh, we don't? We could though, right?
but
We could, right?
I'll probably get down on my knees and beg and cry and whine and.
Hopefully.
Well, I was a little watchful at first because I played guys fly that were tail drivers and they weren't like Clifford. He was doing shit and I have no idea why, but I thought he just wouldn't have any problem at all.
I don't know, for some reason
Rick even admitted and said, yeah, I have a little problem keeping that thing straight. See, and I thought it was just me. I was just old and stale, you know.
I don't know, I just have never had trouble.
Nobody's flying it though, but he got to where he just wasn't an instructor anymore. He didn't want an instructor anymore.
I didn't care for it much anymore either. Too much work to make too little money.
The flying part, I don't care about. I like to instruct,
Yeah,
especially beginners.
I know you do. I did too when I was doing it.
I wasn't all like keen about beginners because I wanted to hurry them through it. I wanted to teach them everything there was the first day, and I knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
I knew it every time I knew it. See, and I'm thinking, went to school, let them waller around a while. See, well, it just didn't seem right. See,
Well, it's
I was
because
wasting my time; they were wasting their time.
that's
with it, see.
because you grasp things so quickly.
No, it wasn't that.
Yeah.
I didn't grasp things or anybody else. In fact,
Well,
the day before I sold, I just knew I was goddamn stupid. I was never going to fly.
there were so many tricks you think, boy, I can teach this guy a lot quicker than I learned.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I did enjoy instructing, Ray. I mean, when I was an instructor down in Louisville, I really enjoyed it. And I still do like to teach. I mean, that's part of the thing. I like teaching whatever I do. But after a while, the difficulty of getting a job out in California was like impossible. And you had to keep your ratings up. And I had to keep my ratings up I kept them up for about 10 years. But I never could get a job. I mean, I just always money going out and responsibility and keeping up to par. But you couldn't go fly, so it was kind of too much hard work and not having any fun. And if I'd have been with an FBO, probably I'd have kept it up.
Yeah, they made it where it was aggravating to have to go get renewed every 2 years when you've been doing it for years. And
Yeah.
you probably knew more about instructing the guys who was checking you out than they ever know.
Yeah.
well, Bill keeps bugging me like, well, I'm going to go here and put her in. I said, well, ain't we'll do the whole thing again, and I don't like the way they got it set no more. It's, you know, this planning stage they go through at first and so on and so forth. You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But I never minded the instrument instruction or the multi I got for the primary. I didn't like it because I wanted to learn everything there was the first day. And I knew they couldn't do it, but I wanted to.
Well, I did.
Sure you did.
Well, honestly, yes, when a guy gets older, he thinks he'd have more patience with what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find that dude.
So when you going to get that ultralight done?
Probably July. started coming to put on.
Yeah.
Had a full start. I didn't really like the idea, and after I got the wings on,
150.
and the thing sits kind of low, and you got to duck down under to get under the wing, then you got to pull, and when you do, your head's about that far apart, where the wings serrated like that on the back.
That's the way the pattern was. I assume that's the way they were. I think they were. Maybe not that much, but they were.
Machine guns firing through the propeller.
That's right.
Germans.
Over here, we're better. We got one that engine on. Well, still, it had to fire through the propeller, I guess.
Germans figured that stuff out first.
Yeah. Well, there's one, see, but it's way up on top. You had to reach up on the top wing and fire that one there.
Oh, there. Oh, yeah, I see it now.
So the picture, then, let me see if I can get the picture.
Boy, he makes some neat stuff, doesn't he, Ray?
I could hardly believe it when I heard that he was doing that woodwork.
It's really neat. Look at that ducks. He's hand carved those ducks.
That's one of those cameras you can see what you're looking at. Huh?
Arrow.
English spad, ain't it?
No, it's AVRO.
Ever.
Depending on what the Zeppelins, it says. I don't know where the Zeppelin's at. He's not there, I guess.
I don't see it. Zeppelin was an airship, wasn't it?
Was it
yeah.
defending against Zeppelins? So I guess it was defending against those dirigibles, I guess they're called.
Yeah. Hydrogen filled.
But I could never figure out the color paint. That's what I never painted about. I knew what the color to paint the red barons there. They never gave me any clue what color, but somebody was something like that. But I don't know what the hell color that is.
Ducks too, huh?
Yeah, that's how it started. Well, not those are not one. Here's one I made. Like that one. And that one. And that one. And a few more. That was too much trouble.
I knew another guy that worked his butt off, and when he finally retired, he started doing woodwork.
Who was that?
Darrell Arms.
Hmm.
Remember Darrell?
I don't think so.
Daryl Arms.
Darrell had a.
Doyle or Daryl?
Darrell had a. Or Darrell, he lived on. I was going out there, jogging across Prairie Creek out toward Doc Ringel. But Darrell, he had a tiling machine, and he's on the Portersville Road. He had a block building there where you make a little job, but his house was a brick house back up a lane to the west. He had, we used to get parts for his tiling machines up in Ohio, Lima or somewhere up there. And, I guess that was after you left the country, Jess.
You know the Portersville Bridge is out of commission now.
What about it?
It's can't use it.
Oh, no, they're talking about building a new one, did they?
No, not yet. But I went down there and drove across it a couple years ago. I've never been across. Went down there and drove across it. It was pretty sad shape then.
That was a straight line bridge?
No,
Oh, that's the
Portersville.
old one up the river there, yeah. Yeah, I never did. I might have drove across that road one time many years ago.
I never did, but I did. I have now. I went across there and came back.
But you can't now anymore.
Nope, not
You
now.
know, something I found out the other day. My brother and I were looking at some movies I took when I was here last time, and we went up over the overhead bridge, you know, east of town.
Yeah.
And my brother said, "Hey, that's where we used to live." I said, "What?" He says, "That's where we used to live at Phonotone Labs, where my dad owned Phonotone Laboratories, and where they made all the recordings and stuff. And he says, I remember playing with my cat there on the front porch when we lived there at Phonotone. He said, you don't remember that, you were only 2 years old. But I never knew where Phonotone Labs was. Do you ever remember that place
Was
there?
it this side of the?
Just on this side of the
Right on the right on that
overhead
brick
bridge,
house?
right on the right side. There's
That
nothing
brick
there
house?
now. I don't think there's anything
Yeah, there
there.
is.
Well, if it is, it's a different house. But
Oh, this house in there is
Been
not
there
new.
forever, huh?
It's been there. I think it's been there a long time. I looked at it to buy it when I.
because this was
I didn't like it.
On this side of the overhead bridge,
1942.
there used to be a little orchard in there.
But on this side of the road.
Yeah.
All right.
And that side's Hazel Street.
Right.
1512 Hazel, Ray Clark lived. And I lived at, this is Ray Clark lived at 1512 North Street.
Oh, that was a confusion.
Yeah, but Ray Clark taught school at Lagodi, and he moved down here, and he went down to Citizen Bank and opened an account, and he deposited his paycheck in there.
Guess where it went, huh?
It went in my name, my account, and he wrote a check and didn't have any money in the bank. So, back in those days, they just went by names, and his name was Ray A. Clark too, so. Citizen Bank had put his money in my account.
It ain't been that many years ago. I had a bunch of money show up in my account over in Maryland, and I'm thinking, well, how did that happen? I was jockeying some money around. I thought, maybe I did that, maybe not, see, and went by about a month or two, and the bank called me and says, hey, we accidentally put some money in your account, and we're going to take it back out. And I said, well, did you ask me first? And he said, well, we got to take it back out. So they took it back out.
Hope it wasn't too much.
$8 grand, I think.
Wow. That put me in trouble because the only thing I go on is how much the balance that shows up when I at the end of the day.
But it was in a savings account or something, see, and I wasn't really paying any attention to it much because I was using a checking account.
Yeah.
But I looked at it and I thought, that's funny. I didn't remember having all that. It was either 6 or 8. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You
Where did
about
I get all that from?
ready to go
See, I
find a
thought-
place to get something to eat?
Whenever you guys are, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I better call my daughter though first.
Okay.
No. Yeah. D-cyanide.
Oh, that's what that is.
Right.
Look both in the 99. I thought they were a little skinnier.
Well, the first one didn't look like that. They didn't have these pods on them,
Oh,
which they put on to carry extra baggage.
They did look skinnier then.
And some of the old ones, that's the way they were. But I don't think I ever flew but one or two of them.
Look like a little on stilts.
Well, see, these are not exactly. I don't suppose these are exactly the scale or anything anyway. See? Well, here's the scale model of this one up here. See, that's an actual picture out of the ocean over east of where I live.
Which one was you carried back over?
From Ireland?
Well, the early one, wasn't it?
Right
Yeah.
there.
And
What
then, about the time I ran into you up there at Citabria that one time, I